Hey, what's up everybody? It's your old pal J-Gun. It's been a hot minute since my last video, and that's because I've been lost deep inside Pyro's contested zones for the last 3 weeks. I've finally come up for air now, and I'd like to share some really important information with you that I wish I had known when I started running contested zones. I'm here to throw down some tips and tricks and lessons learned that will save you time and money and show you exactly how the executive hangars work, because that's where I made the most mistakes and almost lost an executive ship. So make sure to watch until the end. We've got a lot to get through today, so buckle up. So what are contested zones? Contested zones are areas of space stations in Pyro with no armistice where players can battle it out to obtain keycards, comp boards, unique loot, and sometimes ship components. So why do contested zones exist? To support a massive scavenger hunt SIG added in Alpha 4.0 that rewards an upgraded spaceship. Except in this scavenger hunt, there's NPCs and other players along the way that will kill you on sight. So what is this contested zone gameplay loop then? You'll need to find keycard printers to print red and blue keycards, and then use those keycards to gain access to Compboard printers to print comp boards. Once you obtain comp boards 1 through 7, you turn them in at an executive asteroid base to gain access to a special hangar and potentially an executive spaceship with a special livery and upgraded components. So to begin, you're going to need to get yourself some red keycards. You can get these from supervisor stations at Pyro 3L4 and Pyro 3L5. These stations have automated defenses, so please be careful parking. You'll need to EVA in through the front airlock, fight your way through a few rooms of NPCs, and then finally go through a small jumping puzzle into the ceiling to drop down into a well-protected room with the printer in it. The printer is on a 15-minute cooldown, and be careful, it will probably already have other players there. And to obtain blue security cards, you will need to visit a blue security card printer. These can be found in the ventilation rooms of Checkmate and Obituary. Here's a map showing all the points of interest in the contested zone gameplay loop. In blue, we have the 3 major contested zones. In red, we have the supervisor stations that have the red keycard printers, and then highlighted in gold is the executive hangar asteroid bases. So are contested zones worth it? And the answer is probably not. They have a lot of cons. Weeks of expensive PvPing. I personally burned through almost 1 million Alpha UEC with dozens and dozens of deaths and buying full kits of armor over and over. There are griefers waiting at the turn-in location to destroy you and your comp boards, and there's lots of annoying bugs and questionable design decisions throughout the process. There's hours of hunting for servers with working printers, and Obituary is almost always lagged out. And the reward is an in-game ship. It's not account bound, so you don't really get to keep it, and whenever there's a full reset, you're going to lose it. So why do contested zones? The 2 main pros are trauma bonding with your teammates and the potential to unlock an in-game ship with slightly better components than stock. So let's talk real quick about what to wear and how to wear it. Armor. If you want to roll with heavy armor, don't buy it from the armor shops right outside the contested zone. Instead, go to the cargo deck and get heavy armor for half the price. Instead of paying 30k for a full Morozov set with backpack and guns, you'll pay about 20k for a woodland set, and look quite stylish too. Ammo. You will run out of ammo quickly in contested zones, so pack a lot of your own or use a gun that the NPCs use so you can pick up ammo along the way. These types would be the S38 pistol, Karna, P4AR, F55, sometimes Custodian, and sometimes AO3. Anything else, and you're going to have to pack it in yourself. Multi-tool with tractor bit is required kit. And fuses. Fasten them to your chest for ease of use opening fuse doors. You can pick up a few in the contested zones or farm hundreds of them at Ghost Arena. Doors. You'll come across a few new types of doors in contested zones, and it's important to know how each works. Fuse doors. Openable from the back at any time, but front entry requires inserting a fuse. You can drag the fuse into your hands via the inventory screen, but a better, faster way is to use it from your G menu if it's on your chest. If the fuse slot won't allow hand interaction, use your multi-tool, but orient the fuse with the flat side against the door and the green light on top. Red doors. Get the key cards from the 2 supervisor stations, Pyro 3L4 and L5. They're one way and not openable from the back side. Have all your party with you before inserting the key into the slot. Red doors close automatically after about 30 seconds, but can be closed manually from a button on the backside if you want to make sure no one is following you through. Blue doors. Get the key cards from blue keycard printers inside Obituary or Checkpoint Station. They behave the same way as red doors. So some other tips real quick. Go in with teammates when you can. A squad of 3 is best, and always stay close together or position yourself strategically to watch ingress points if you're guarding printers. Red keycard printers can be secured solo if you're really good at PvP and tactics. Keycard printers have a 15-minute cooldown, Compboard printers have a 30-minute cooldown. The final room at the end of each contested zone will have a lot of NPCs to battle your way through, and they respawn quickly. Consider bringing detox items as your drug levels will get high after hours of healing yourself. Also, you can log out at any time and keep whatever is on you, assuming you're not in combat, and/or you can use the freight elevator at the end of any contested zone to securely store items into local, again, assuming the freight elevator works. Don't bring in anything you can't afford to lose. For example, if you want to go gather some blue cards, don't bring in red cards on you. You don't need red cards to get blue cards, and you don't want to die with the red cards on you. The contested zone at Ruin, Ghost Arena, is an open arena with 4 corridors branching off each side via fuse doors. Of the 4 branches, the only ones you need to focus on are the crypt and the treasure vault. The treasure vault opens once every 22 minutes. The door remains open for about 1 minute and then closes. Once inside the vault, you have 20 minutes to access Compboard printers 6 and 5. Printer 5 will require a crypt key, so make sure to visit the crypt printer in the crypt and get that key before heading into the treasure vault. Secure the tunnel at the vault entrance. It's a great hidey hole. It's important to mention that the end of each contested zone, whether that be the treasure vault in Ghost Arena or the 2 ends of the mazes in Obituary and Checkmate, each of those end rooms is supposed to have ship components and upgraded weapons. So that's not happening now, I believe, because of issues with servers, but I'll show you some footage of that that's rolling right now, because the first time, in the first week, that stuff was working. When you made it to the treasure vault, or when you made it to the end of Obituary or Checkmate, the final rooms did have a bunch of awesome loots and ship components, which you could transfer to your local via the freight elevator. I'll roll that footage, but just keep in mind that's not working these days. So that's why I said when you're at the treasure vault, you really just care about the crypt key, because the keys to the other doors are meaningless because those rooms aren't populating with items right now. So here we are, almost 8 minutes into this video, and we have yet to actually get to the topic I wanted to talk about. So I apologize for that, but now actually is the time to pay attention. It's time to talk about the executive hangar. So you've spent weeks collecting your 7 comp boards, and you're ready for your reward. Well, bad news. The turn-in location is surrounded by PvE ships wanting to blow you up, and players wanting the same. The strategy that's worked best for me is to have teammates scout the area first and determine which base is going to be the next base to go live, and then the comp board holder only flies in when the base is just a few minutes away from going live. When you arrive at the executive hangar quantum point, you'll be able to see all 3 executive hangar asteroid bases. Scouting and checking status. Only 1 asteroid base will be active at a time. Note, this doesn't mean there is always one active. Send in scouts with nothing valuable on them to clear the airspace and go inside and check the status of each asteroid base. We can see at this first asteroid base I scouted, there are no lights turned on the pipes, and that means the base is not active, and it's not going to be active anytime soon. So, off we fly to the next asteroid base, go inside and have a look. And at this asteroid base, what we find is that there are some green lights lit. And also there's some red lights, so that means that this base is currently in the enabling period. The enabling period is when red lights get replaced with green lights every 24 minutes. So with 3 red lights still to go, that means in 24 times 3 minutes, this base will finally be active, and it will stay active for an hour, and during that period we can insert our comp boards. So you wait patiently until the final light goes green, and now it is time. It is go time. One by one, you drag the cards into your hand and put them in the slots. Each of the pipes has 3 slots, and of course there's only 7 cards, so on the 3rd pipe you only need to insert 1. But there goes card 1, there goes card 2, here goes card 3, and you get a nice little bar light also to confirm what happened. And then you look for the next pipe and its computer bank, and you repeat the process. Card 4, card 5, and card 6. And during this time, anybody could show up and enter the asteroid base and kill you, or they could be waiting on the walkway. So when the door opens, they go in instead of you. So you need to have a teammate with you. So there go 4, 5, and 6. And bonk. I was bonk into 7. Now, you can tell they might have planned for 9, but in the final release of the game here, we just have 7. So don't be alarmed that there's 3 slots to fill. There's actually only 1 that needs a card. So you'll put in 7, and that's it. Turn around. And there it is, the doorway to the engineering area and the executive hangar. So here I am with my teammate. We're crossing this walkway into the engineering area. It's really cool. They did a great job with the layout here. And I'm going to leave my teammate behind. They're going to watch this entrance because we don't want anybody coming in here, because once the executive hangar is open, because the boards are inserted, anybody can come in. It's not a private event at all. So you have to be really careful. You don't want anybody else stealing your prize. So in the elevator, there's 2 buttons. They both go to the same hangar. It's just you can appear on the left side or the right. So we go in, and this is the executive hangar. And there's loot crates and stuff everywhere to play around with. Like I said, 4 weeks in now to Alpha 4, nothing is spawning correctly anymore. So you won't find ship components in here. All the loot crates are empty. The weapons chests are empty. Nothing is spawning. So don't bother anyways, because you don't want to waste time in here, because anybody could enter also. So go straight to the ASOP and take a look at it. And when you click on it, you will see the ship that it magically picks from the pool. In this case, it's a Sulin. I believe there's 5 ships, and the Sulin is weighted very high, like a 50% chance. So that pops up a lot. So we clicked claim, and that's very important. And now we're going to click retrieve. And as long as you clicked claim, you're good. It's yours. But I'm also going to retrieve it also because I want to look at it. And we get to see it coming up here through the floor. Now, important note, claiming is enough. Once you click the claim button, it's yours. But when you click retrieve, not only does it raise the ship, it opens the entrance to the public. You'll see once the Sulin platform greets me, the forward-facing large hangar doors also open, and that's terrifying, because the first time I did this, a player in a Polaris was sitting outside, and as soon as my Sulin raised, yeah, that's right, I got a Sulin the first time too. As soon as my Sulin raised, a size 10 torpedo came in and instantly obliterated it. I had clicked the claim button, and I had clicked the retrieve button, but the Sulin got destroyed before I could get in it. When I got the Sulin home and went to store it, it wasn't in my ASOP. I also couldn't retrieve it in my ASOP. So I panicked. I submitted a support request to SIG. I thought that somehow by the ship getting destroyed before I got in it, I lost it. And that's where it would take about 3 or 4 days for me to actually figure out where my Sulin went. So this is the big mistake I made the first time I turned in 7 cards, and the reason I thought I had almost wasted all 7 of them and I was completely distraught. I already have 4 Sulins, well technically 5, and I was looking for my new one, but it didn't show up here. It didn't show up in my home base. And I was scared, I was terrified, I was stressed out, I was like, oh my god, I've wasted 3 weeks of my life. And I submitted a support ticket, I went to bed, I slept on it, and I kind of fell into a minor depression. I was very bummed out about it. So I'm convinced I lost the Sulin because it blew up before I got in it. So we do it again. I had some extra cards. My friends helped me fill in the gaps. And that's the clip you just watched. We do it again. And I check Gatok, and again there's no ship, even though I made it out of the hangar alive. I suddenly have this epiphany, and I don't know what gave me this epiphany. stop looking at Talk. You have a giant hangar list, just scroll all the way through it. And I scroll to the bottom, and what the F do I find? Sealin Pyro Amalgamated, whatever exec. And there's 2 of them. So shame on SIG for breaking a precedent. For all these years, for 8 years now, they've classified ships in the ASOP by their manufacturer. They broke that mold this time, and that caused me to have a major freak out. So the lesson here is the ship isn't going to be classified under the manufacturer. So if you don't see it after doing everything right, just take a stroll through your ASOP list. Just look at everything. Don't be silly like your old pal J-Gun. So the problem is now I have 2 Seulins, which that means I actually have like 7 or 8 Seulins. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. And I'll probably try again for a 3rd and 4th time because my friends are getting like F8s and F7s and Corsairs. So that's the video. Clicking the claim button is enough. You've got it. There's no nonsense about having to get in the ship. It's going to be somewhere weird in your ship list that you're probably not going to recognize. So this was a bit informal and a lot long, but I hope you found it useful. If you did, feel free to like and subscribe. I appreciate it. And I hope to see you all in the verse, although hopefully on my team, because I hate getting murdered. Thanks for watching.